Hi everybody! In this devlog, I wanted to give news about some new features and improvements on existing ones. I'm developing a game where you survive on a base on the moon and must explore, mine, craft, plant, live and grow your colony. Imagine all the things you have to prepare for living on the moon. Some things are so common on Earth that you don't even think about them. To make the survival gameplay more realistic, the player will have to maintain a breathable atmosphere inside the base. While the atmosphere is good for the colonists, they can live normally inside the base. But when it's not, how do they will know that something is happening that can silently kill them? A new element had been added to analyze the atmosphere in the base and show the colonists that the atmosphere is safe for them. This air quality analyzer will be used as an indicator for colonists and will show an alert when something is wrong. I show more details about the gameplay on the itch.io page of the game to explain what kind of elements can have an impact on the colonists, for example, toxic gases, high temperatures, low pressures, etc. Whenever a colonist has to work on something inside a pressurized area, he will be able to remove his spacesuit and get a speed bonus, which allows him to walk and fix things faster. The spacesuit will be stored on the rack and can be used by any other colonist. When a colonist needs to leave the base, he must first put his spacesuit back on. With this mechanic, the player will have to work on the atmospheric part of his base and create a safe place to live. I've also been working on a faster way to create windows in the game to prototype new things quickly and improve the user interface later. The idea is to instantiate an empty window and dynamically add different types of lines to it. For example, a line of text, a picture of a colonist, dynamic values or buttons. Each line I can add in the windows is a prefab, and I define the values or delegated functions to update them automatically. I'm using it for now for the list and the colonist window, and I'm quite happy with the result. It took me a few minutes to create a new window and put all the values I wanted in it. Also, when it comes to the colonist picture in this window, I did not create any picture. Since the colonist will have different skin, hair and clothing colors, it will be very complicated to generate an image for all the combinations. So, to avoid extra work and keep a consistent picture, I simply attached a camera to every colonist instance so that I could generate the picture during the gameplay. This camera remains disabled and is only used to render a texture that I keep in memory for use inside the interface. Let's come back on Earth and think about other improvements for the game. When you do something, you don't stop to think about each step you take, and you just move forward. Many times, I've realized that the colonists in my game were acting too slowly. What was happening was that Pathfinding was too slow to set the path over long distances, and could only handle one path calculation at a time. I made a lot of change in my code to be able to run it on a separate thread, and then change its structure to be able to handle multiple pathfinding at the same time using multithreading. Usually, in simple games, the whole program runs on a single CPU core, because it needs to access all the data of the game. The problem is that the same program is responsible for rendering the game on screen, and any large computation can cause the game to lag or impact the number of FPS you get. To avoid this kind of impact, the game program should be modified to separate some CPU-heavy parts and run them on separate threads. The separated part of the program must receive its data from the main code, and it can continue to work on its own and return the result to the main thread. In my multi-threaded implementation, I keep 4 separate threads only to process the pathfinding of different characters at the same time, and another thread to update the pathfinding map of all the obstacles of the map. With these important changes, I was able to speed up the pathfinding process without generating any impact on the frame rate. That's it for today. I'm very happy to share how the development of my game is going. I still have a lot to do, and one of the next implementations should be the control of the main character, so you can really take part in the colony surviving on the moon. See you next time with more gameplay. Bye!